I've just recently had some surgery. I had what's called a bilateral mastectomy with immediate depth reconstruction, which is where they use the fat from my stomach to reconstruct my breasts. And it went really well. And in fact, it is considered really major surgery, and it just didn't feel like major surgery. And I'm just blown away. And I know that that was down to various things that I did. And the most important thing that I did was my hypnotherapy. And I came to Sharon. I did actually know Sharon because I'd been on a couple of occasions before, and came to her and said, I know what I need to be doing. And she helped me with some hypnotherapy, and I used the hypnotherapy tools probably a couple of weeks before the surgery, and it just gave me calmness and it gave me confidence to do what I knew would be major, because it was 11-hour surgery. And I listened and I listened, and I just stayed calm, walked into the surgery, and 11 hours later woke up. And it was the anaesthetic actually that I was dreading more than anything, and I was nervous about. And I woke up, and to this day I still can't believe it. I was awake. I felt like I'd had a good night's sleep. In fact, I said that to the surgeons. And from then until now, I have not felt sick. I didn't have a sore throat. I didn't feel drugged. I have just felt completely normal post 11-hour surgery. And the operation finished that evening about 7 o'clock. And I couldn't sleep that night. And I just went through the hypnotherapy in my mind the whole night. It kept me calm, kept me relaxed. And I just have done so well since, and I know so much was due to the messages that we were putting in my brain, which helped my body. And I know the nurses have said what an incredible recovery I've made and how well I've been doing, and I know myself I have. Everyone around me is just blown away, and I'm just blown away. I really am. And I know, when you know, and I know that the hypnotherapy was such an important and massive part for me, and kind of gave me the confidence to do the operation. It felt like my security blanket. And as someone said, actually I was just telling a friend of mine that when I was in the car on the way, my one thing, it's like going to the airport and you want to remember your passport and do that quick passport check. Well, mine was, did I have my little hypnotherapy tools with me? And I did, and I felt secure, and I just know that it's helped me incredibly. One of the things that was really surprising to the staff, and to myself really, was my lack of need for painkillers. It just blew me away. The first couple of days they give you this pump thing, and you can use it as much as you want. And I barely used it. And in fact, the only time I felt really wobbly was after using 2 pumps of that. Without it, I'd felt fine. And so I had a couple of days with the pump, and they kept coming in and saying, well, you're barely using it, and I was fine. And then the next day they gave me it's a pill called tramadol. And someone had already told me about tramadol and how it can make you not feel great, a bit strange in the head, and I hate feeling strange in the head. So the only reason I had it that particular morning, which might have been about the 3rd morning or 4th morning, was because I knew I had to get up and do exercise, and I didn't want to not do it because it might have been painful getting out of bed. So I had one tramadol, and that was it. Then for the next couple of days, paracetamol, and I've not had anything for probably about the last 10 days. And I just can't believe it. No one around me can believe it. And I know as well that was part of the messages that I was putting in my body, and part of what I'd heard, that it's not actually so great being pumped full of medication if you don't necessarily need it, and it's not helpful for your healing. So I'm just kind of lost for words. As you can say, I have done this on very, very little medication, and that will obviously have helped my body heal. So I'm just speechless, and I'm just blown away, and I'm not sure what else I can say. The reason I actually had the surgery was because I'd had some gene testing earlier in the year, and it came back to tell me that I'd got the BRCA1 gene. And 15 years ago, I'd actually had breast cancer. And although my consultant felt it was a genetic thing, I decided not to do the testing. Strangely, because I thought I was more in control if I felt it was a lifestyle thing and I could change my lifestyle. And really interestingly, the minute I got my BRCA result, I suddenly felt I was more in control. So I'd actually made a big mistake, but was very lucky that I was okay. So I had my ovaries out, and then 6 months later, I've had the breast mastectomy and reconstruction. I'm actually, well, when I had breast cancer, I became very kind of passionate about healing yourself and looking after yourself in a natural way, but I also know there's a place for medicine too. So the combination of both can be so incredibly helpful for the body, plus the help with the mind through the hypnotherapy. You're helping yourself with, well, in all angles, and I don't think there's anything better than that. When I came across Sharon, I was introduced to her kind of secretly by someone who one of her patients, who was just so wowed by her. And I came to see her, and I actually just knew straight away that it was right for me, and has just been absolutely incredible. And there's just something so different. It's about kind of truly understanding and truly drawing out what's important for you as an individual, what your needs are, what's going to help you, so to create something that's absolutely right for you as an individual. And that's so important. And, you know, as long as Sharon's here in the world and living not far away, then I just feel I can cope with anything. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's the truth.